never imagined that one day I would be sharing my own harrowing tale of infidelity as someone who believed in the sanctity of marriage and the power of love. This is my story of betrayal, a story that has left deep, painful scars. My husband and me, we are both in our second marriages, thought we had finally found our true soulmates. Our first marriages had given us children, the most precious gifts of all. We built our new life together, overcoming countless obstacles, and I often spoke about how a family was the epitome of happiness. Yet, beneath the surface, there were whispers of secrets and unseen cracks beginning to form. We married despite many challenges, and I believed our profound love and bond would never fade. We were inseparable, like two halves of a whole. But after 12 years, our marriage suffered a devastating blow. Time has passed, and though the surface has calmed, the storm within me still rages. Looking back, I realized there were signs, subtle changes in his behavior, late-night phone calls, and unexplained absences. I dismissed these as stress from work or his need for space. Our conversations grew shorter, and the once vibrant spark between us dimmed. Still, I clung to the belief that our love was unbreakable. It wasn't until I stumbled upon a series of text messages on his phone that my suspicions solidified. The messages were filled with flirtation and promises to meet. My heart sank and a sense of dread washed over me. When I saw the sender's name, I felt as though the ground had shifted beneath me. It was our neighbor, someone I considered a friend. Our neighbor had always been friendly and helpful. She and her husband had joined us for dinners. Our children played together, and we shared countless laughs. The realization that she was the other woman shattered my perception of our seemingly idyllic neighborhood life. Determined to uncover the truth, I decided to follow my husband one evening when he claimed to be working late. My heart pounded as I trailed behind him, keeping a safe distance. He parked his car a few blocks away from our home, near the neighbor's house. I watched in horror as he slipped through the side gate of their yard. I crept closer, my breath shallow and my hands trembling. Through a crack in the fence, I saw them, my husband and the neighbor, engaged in a passionate embrace, their bodies pressed against the wall of her house. They were completely absorbed in each other, oblivious to the world around them. The sight was both shocking and devastating, a visual confirmation of the betrayal I had feared. I don't blame myself for what happened. I know I am the innocent party in this vile situation. I've come to understand that my husband was ensnared in a deceitful plot. The neighbor, cunning and manipulative, had seduced my husband, exploiting her proximity to weave her web of deceit. My husband is now filled with regret. He constantly blames himself and tries to express his shame over the situation he was dragged into. His regret stems from realizing how powerless he truly is, despite his earlier arrogance. Seeing him in this state is pure agony for me. I loved his intellect and his heart. I never wanted to see him so vulnerable and naive. The most painful part was witnessing his shame when he understood what he lost for fleeting pleasures. My husband should not have been this man. Every woman who is cheated on is actually betrayed by another woman, not just by her husband. They say, every man feels an innate thrill in sleeping with another woman. Unfortunately, I learned the truth of this through betrayal. What I cannot comprehend is how a man can deeply love his wife, yet go to another woman merely to satisfy physical desires. This is what I cannot forgive or accept in my husband. When I suggested, let's divorce, go and be with that woman you've been with for 2 years, his refusal was baffling. Was it worth experiencing so much sorrow and shame for a woman he wouldn't even show in public, a woman he paid for her body? Knowing now that it wasn't worth it, hearing him say, "I wish it never happened," does not ease my pain. I am consumed by anguish. I can't breathe. As I delved deeper into the truth, I discovered that this neighbor was part of a larger scheme. She and her husband had orchestrated this plot, targeting men like my husband. It was a game for them, a way to manipulate and control. The more I learned, the more disgusted I became. This wasn't just about infidelity. It was a web of deceit and exploitation. I was on the verge of leaving him. Before taking that final step, I called the neighbor's husband, the missing piece of the puzzle. What he said shocked me. When I told him, "Your wife is cheating on you, not only with my husband, but with many others," he responded, "I don't care. I need money." His words hit me like a thunderbolt. I confronted my husband one last time, hoping for some semblance of remorse that could convince me to stay. But his hollow apologies and empty promises only deepened my despair. The weight of his betrayal and the web of lies were too much to bear. One stormy night, as thunder rumbled in the distance and rain pelted our windows, I made my decision. I couldn't continue living a lie, surrounded by deceit and betrayal. I packed my bags, leaving behind the life we had built together. My heart was heavy, but I knew I needed to find peace and rebuild my shattered sense of self. As I walked out the door, the weight of my choice settled on me. The fight to save our family was over, and I was stepping into an uncertain future, but I was ready to face whatever came next, knowing that I deserved honesty and true love. In the end, it wasn't just the infidelity that broke me. It was the realization that the man I loved was capable of such deep betrayal. As I drove away, the storm outside mirrored the turmoil within me, yet, amidst the darkness, I held on to a glimmer of hope, knowing that someday I would find the strength to heal and start anew.